Hey guys,
What's up, y'all?
What's going on?
not much. Had a eventful weekend.
Yeah, you want to describe
Yeah.
it?
Do you want to describe it
Well,
in
describe the
detail for
weekend.
our lovely listeners?
Sure. This weekend was like getting hit over the head with a softball bat, then getting the softball bat shoved up your rectum. It was awesome. Needless to say,
man.
we had someone throw a boulder.
Where did she get a boulder? And also, isn't a boulder too big to throw?
Okay, a massive rock that is about this size. All right.
Bowling ball size.
He blew with the name Sierra on it that came out of someone's car, because that makes sense. It threw it through the side door of Pig and Rooster, through the glass.
Yeah. Did this happen last night?
Yes. Then this crazy witch tried to climb through the glass that she broke, cut herself successfully, and now she is in jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd she come from?
Hell, the third leg.
I'm not cheating, no way. I can't. You're right back.
Here it is for anybody wondering.
Come in. You're not getting in. You're not getting in. You're not getting in. Don't put your hands on the meet me up.
And that's enough that we need to see now.
Let me talk to Dave. I'm going to fix it.
So,
man.
Either way.
What a nightmare. So we're going to have a blue tarp just like the Marsky bar across the street, huh?
Hell yeah. And on that note, let me just show you something.
What was she trying to do? Just
She really wanted a drink, buddy. I don't know.
Yeah, she looked really sober. Really sober.
Yeah, she was definitely sober.
Right now it's boarded up with Oh, here he comes.
What you got, buddy? I successfully began to.
Up and
down.
Nice.
You got the sign? Where'd you get
I got
it from?
both of them, baby.
That's great.
In the words of The Wire, you come with the king, you best not miss. So, anyway, good to see you, boy. Let's go.
Let's introduce Amanda.
Introduce Amanda here.
Yeah, that would be nice. Hi, I'm Amanda.
What's up, Amanda? How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm here as like a mental health advocate. You know, something I know that Brian's super passionate about. For me, it wasn't a choice to be passionate about. You know, mental illnesses don't discriminate, and I have been dealing with that my whole life. But I've been able to take my story and kind of help others, and through an organization called NAMI. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today.
Nice.
Awesome. Can you explain NAMI a little bit, what it stands for?
Yeah. So NAMI is the National Alliance for Mental Illness. And so that's like a larger organization. And like within that organization, there's different chapters. Like I hate saying it like this because they're not a fraternity or sorority, but think about it like a sorority or a fraternity, right? It's like a larger thing. And then there's different chapters. So there's local chapters all throughout the country. And, you know, different chapters. And those are really the things that I feel like I am most comfortable talking about. Mm-hmm. And the cool thing about it is they are kind of like an NA/AA thing, but not for people who like have an addiction necessarily. It's strictly for mental health. And, you know, 1 in 5 people right now are diagnosed with mental illness. And so obviously there is a need for support, and these support groups are just a safe space.
And then do you sit down with people, or like is this like in a group setting or something of that nature?
Yeah. So they do. There's some of them are online, some of them are in person. It kind of just depends. And basically, like there's a separate one for people that have mental illness, and a different one for families that are seeking out support. So like if you have a loved one that's going through something, that can be really hard to understand, I think, if you don't have that experience on your own. And so they can go there for that. And so there's like the principles of support, which basically is a general understanding that like we view the person first, not the mental illness. And my favorite is that they accept humor as acceptable way to cope. But it's just a space that we just talk, and they're peer led. So it's not therapy, right? It's not therapy. They're peer led support groups.
And then do you like have like have you ever identified like any what are some symptoms or something you see that will let someone identify mental health issue for the person?
So, like, if you are wondering if there's a loved one that might be struggling with mental illness, the first thing that I say to look for is that self-isolation, right? So they start to distance themselves from others, push others away, and that typically is kind of an indicator. So, like, they start canceling plans more frequently. You don't hear from them very often, and people though masking is a big thing. So the term masking basically is like you put on that face, right? So nobody knows anything is wrong. And then when they go home, they let it down. And that's the nice thing about support groups like this is you don't have to wear that mask when you are in these support groups. You can actually be vulnerable and be yourself. And I think that it's so isolating for people that are going through mental health challenges because it's an invisible illness. Whether it's a medical condition, right?
Yeah.
But it's invisible. People don't see that. And so it can be hard to identify in others, but the biggest thing to know is that talking about it is important. Like specifically, and the trigger warning because of the word, but the word suicide, like statistically speaking, people are less likely to make an attempt after having that conversation. It does not put the idea in someone's head. Rather, like forcing someone to, like asking someone, like, are you okay? Have you considered this? Is actually a powerful thing to do. And that stands with children as well.
Okay.
Yeah, even with children. So like in trainings, I was an educator for 9 years. In all of our trainings, like we are taught it is okay to ask the child, like, are you thinking about killing yourself, like hurting yourself? It does not put the idea in there. Rather, it makes it real, right? It shows that you are listening, you care, it is real.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys got any questions? We're gonna keep going here for a minute.
No, I mean, I just think that's a great thing, and it's a great thing to bring up that this is not therapy, because I know that word kind of triggers some people as well. This is more of a kind of what we do. It's a safe space. Let's sit down and there's nobody's going to hold you. I don't know. Nobody's going to make fun of you for some of the stuff that you say, and nobody's going to think that you're crazy or anything like that. It's just, let's just sit down and let's take the mask off, like you said, and let's just have a candid conversation about how you're feeling. So.
And that's super liberating. And I think, like I said, it's really isolating a lot of times for people with mental illness. And, having those shared experiences can be transformative for people. And it's not going to be the exact same. But nobody's minimizing or experiencing that your pain is less than theirs. Everyone is just there understanding, like, it's okay. Like, you'll look at someone, you'll be like, am I crazy for saying that? You realize other people have felt similar ways before. And I think the validation that comes with that is very powerful.
If you don't have an answer to this question, and by the way, guys, everyone watching, thank you very much. I know this is a sports podcast, but this is something that's been a little bit of a passion project for myself. And so I'm very thankful that we have Amanda on. Is there anything we should not do when trying to help someone with mental issues?
I don't like saying there's anything you should not do, but I think that it's important that one thing that you should know to do is have the number 988 handy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with 988. So 988 actually just this past year was like officially, like, really, they did a really big campaign for it. And it is a suicide hotline, but it's also for just mental health crisis in general. The cool thing about it is people can text it, they can call. You can call or text on behalf of a friend. So, like, say your friend is in a different state, you are worried about them, you need advice on how to support them, like, you can call them, you can text them. And I'm a very vulnerable, very open person. I have reached out to 988 before myself. And like, when you're texting them, it is not a judgmental thing. It's anonymous. Yeah. And they can't give you like true advice, but they can help talk you through like what next steps are, like how you can get the help that you need. So 988 is a really good just thing to keep handy when you're thinking of how you could support someone in a mental health crisis.
And it's something that I want to touch on. I know Dusty and I are in the bar restaurant industry, it's a very prevalent issue within our industry because also alcohol is involved either on the job or after the job. You're always consistently around it.
Yeah.
And so people have a bunch of mental health issues. Also, they rely on the alcohol almost as a, it's something they depend on, which
The coping mechanism.
their coping
too.
mechanism. They drink to forget, as I like to say. So this is something that I know that Dusty and I deal with on a regular basis. And that's why it's been once again, a passion project for me, is because I see so many of either my employees or my friends who are in this business having mental health issues. They don't drink because they're thirsty. They drink because they don't know the difference. So, do families going back to NAMI? Do like, can this be like a family therapy thing, or I don't use the word therapy?
Yeah,
but,
so it's supplemental, it's not therapy, because when we think about a mental health condition, it is a medical condition, so it needs to be treated by medical professionals, not necessarily just people that have had training and peers. But it is like the family environment can go. It is like it's like groups of like 20 or so is kind of what they try to keep it at, because they don't. If you get it too big, then there's not enough space in the room to share, right? There's only so much time. So they kind of keep it to a certain amount. But I personally have not attended the family one because that's something my mom has attended, because she has attended to figure out best ways to support me and also to support herself in supporting me, because it is traumatic for families, family members as well. But yes, it is something that like family members, they're just two separate groups. It's not something that they do together.
Okay.
Yeah. But that NAMI connection and support groups is just one part of it. The actual organization has so many other events, fundraisers that they hold, seminars to teach people, webinars, those types of things. But yeah.
You said NAMI is a national organization. Do they meet like on a specific day of the week, or is it kind of like sporadic based on location?
So the organizations, you're going to look up your local chapter, and it's usually bi-weekly. It's not every week, but it is usually bi-weekly. And sometimes they have it like one is virtual one night and then in person the other. One thing that's cool is like the same people will come back. So then you get to see familiar faces. And for some people, it's like the first time they smiled since the last time you saw them. And like they'll share that. And it's powerful.
Awesome. I see you have some stuff written down here. I'll let you kind of, if you want to go through anything. Dustin, do you have any questions or anything, man, or any questions coming through in the chat?
No, I don't have anything. I think she's doing a really good job of covering her bases here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I can say from working with the mobile crisis unit at my previous career that some of the 988 stuff and just the suicide hotline in general, I mean, I've seen firsthand about how well that helps people in crisis mode. Like if you get to crisis mode, right? I mean, you could just call those numbers just to talk if you just need someone to talk to, like Amanda was saying. So it's not something that you need to get to that point to call and talk to somebody about. So just a reminder of that.
Yeah. And I think it's good to know that these spaces, though, they are like, while there are topics that are very like heavy, right? And the stories are very painful, it is like the lightest space to be in. And it's there's so much laughter and positivity and smiling, especially because with NAMI, one of their like principles is that humor is like an acceptable form of coping, right? So they actually are encouraging you to like have that positive energy with it and keeping that hope. And you don't have to pretend you're okay, but like the beautiful thing about it is eventually when you are, you get to be that hope for the next person and share how your experience is something you went through without minimizing theirs, but being that lighthouse, that beam, that shining light for people.
And Brooks, thank you for putting the NAMI,
the
NAMI going across. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And look, for everyone watching or whoever watches this, or if you're listening to this on whatever platform you're on, this isn't the most comfortable topic. I'm actually a little nervous right now. My leg's shaking. It's tough, but I honestly believe it's something that's needed. At 39 years old, I struggle sometimes, and I have friends, and I talk about it and end every podcast with it. So this is something it's important to me. And I'm so happy I have friends like Amanda, and I have friends like Brooks and Dustin to rely on, lean on from time to time. And there's nothing shameful about leaning on friends. I mean, that's what the purpose of a friend is. So I see that you have down here like inhale and exhale. And if you want to go over some of that stuff, maybe like physical,
like some coping strategies.
Coping strategies. Yeah.
I mean, so like when it comes to coping strategies, it's different for every person. And so I have things that work for me, but what works for me doesn't work for others, and vice versa. But like a lot of different breathing techniques, but specifically my favorite one that like if you are with someone that you perceive as having maybe a panic attack, something called grounding. So a grounding exercise, kind of bringing them back to that present moment. My favorite is the 5-4-3-2-1 strategy. So I can just do that one really quickly.
Yeah, sure.
So what you would do is I would say, like, if you were in the middle of panic, I'd say, what are 5 things that you can see? So you look around the room and you share 5 things you can see. And then it's what are 4 things that you can hear, right? Or what order? I mean, the order doesn't really necessarily matter. 4 things that you can hear, or 4 things that you can touch, right? What are 3 things that you can hear? What are 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste, right? So by the end of doing all of those things, your kind of brain chemistry, like it's like your brain is reset, right? Because you've been distracted and focused on so many different things that you're in this present moment. Temperature change is also a big thing if someone's dealing with panic as well. So like cold is really powerful. So like a wet paper towel or cold towelette, something like that. But affirmations are my biggest thing as someone who deals with this daily, like waking up in the morning. The first time you do it, you sound really silly and you think you sound stupid talking to yourself in the mirror saying like, I am strong, I am worthy. But eventually they grow into things like I am deserving of love, or I will only accept the love that I deserve, or, they turn into like your own like saving grace.
Yeah. So like today when I woke up and I was like, Justin Tucker, why can't you make a kick? Like that is a no.
That would be deflecting. That'd be deflecting your issues on Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that it's just the important thing to know is like you don't have to totally like you want to try things before you get to a point of crisis, and like taking care of your physical health helps with your mental health, getting that fresh air, like staying connected to others. And the hardest thing like to do is to not isolate, but maintaining connections with people is gonna be helpful for anyone.
Yeah, and I think Brooks has got the on the if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the NAMI.org website. So please check that out. And then I'm sure there's a phone number or something associated with that website to reach out to whatever your chapter is, wherever you're watching this. But is there anything else? Any questions? Anything else anyone wants to ask? Anything else you want to expound on?
I mean, I don't have much for you. Tomorrow's Giving Tuesday. So if you're looking for a good cause, that's a great cause to support.
What is Giving Tuesday?
Giving Tuesday? So like, they got like Black Friday.
Okay.
You got Cyber Monday. And then Giving Tuesday. You don't know this, right? Am I crazy?
No.
Yeah.
I've never.
You're stealing kid. You're stealing kid.
Yeah.
We won. So, but no, yeah. So Giving Tuesday, it's like the finale of all of the crazy Thanksgiving things they do, where you like donate to causes that you care about. So if you're looking for a cause that you might not have known that you want to care about now, that's a great one.
Anybody else got
Awesome.
anything? I mean, this has been good. I'm so happy we were able to have you on. Is there anything else we want to go over here?
Yeah.
Not that I can think of the phone. I put the phone number in the comments here for anybody that's looking for tomorrow's Giving Tuesday, or if anybody wants to reach out.
And if anyone reaches out after the fact, you know where to find me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
This has been beneficial, not only hopefully to people watching or listening, but I mean just for me in general, like having somebody on that can talk. And like I said, I have tons of friends and employees who are dealing with this. Yeah. And some of them don't even know they're dealing with it. And it took me a while to understand it. And I mean, I'm a strong-willed and I believe a smart human being, even though I act like a jackwagon. It took me a while to understand. And so if anyone has any issues whatsoever, please reach out to your friends, reach out to NAMI, reach out to us, whatever you need to do. It's so important that you take care of yourself. I believe if you take care of yourself, you're going to make other people better. That's my personal opinion. But I don't know if you have anything else.
Just keep talking about it and break that stigma. The more that you do things like this, right, where you provide a safe space where like people are willing to be vulnerable, the less likely people are to feel like they have to hide that. So I appreciate you guys for like being advocates in this community, just by being willing to have someone on to talk about a topic like this on a sports podcast, right?
Yeah.
Men are impacted too, and like they're like specifically, like it was Men Mental Health Month awareness.
Oh.
Just like because there needs to be an awareness because people specifically like have this idea in their head that men are tough, men are strong, like they don't go through things, they don't have to feel emotions, whereas it's the opposite. It is good to feel those emotions, and I appreciate you guys providing a safe space.
I have a question that just came in. Do you, when you went to these sessions, personally, is it majority women? Is it majority men? Is it 50-50? Is it? Have you seen anything? Not that you were taking a log, but
no. It is wild, the diversity. So in ages, like there are people that are like 18 all the way up to like there was like a lady that was like 80 there. There is all different like genders, all different ethnicities. I would say there ended up being more men than there were women, which I didn't think about that actually until now. And also socioeconomic status. Like, you know, there were people there that were homeless. And then there was a man who had a multi-million-dollar company that you look at him and you're like, wow, he's got it all, but he's still fighting a mental illness himself. So it doesn't discriminate. It does not. Mental health or illness does not discriminate.
Yeah. And we've said how taboo it kind of was even 5 years ago, maybe even less, like for guys just to bring this up, and maybe even just like our friend group and in general, just anybody really, just guys in general, just think it's kind of demasculating. It's not. It's not. Just before it gets out of hand, it's better just to take care of it. To be honest with you, so I think that's big to bring up as well. Just because there was a long time there where guys just didn't want to talk about it, and you just kind of push it down and go to other things that aren't going to help really.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and once again, the masking thing. I mean, it took me a while to understand. I can always speak from personal, my personal views and how I felt. I mean, I would just start drinking, or I'd start, you go take a sledgehammer to a tire or something, go to the gym, right, or go hit a golf ball, or go to the batting cage, or whatever it was to get like this relief stress. But talking to people has been the most beneficial thing, at least for me, and that's not for everybody. Talking to people has been way better than any of the things I just mentioned. Especially, you're never going to find an answer bottom of a bottle or a needle or whatever the hell your vice may be. It's never going to be the answer. And I'm not a doctor, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. But I mean, doing drugs is not going to help you.
No, and this is a big issue in the sports community as a whole as well. It's definitely something that they've done a good job of bringing up and bringing to light. So that's why, I mean, we're also passionate about sports, and this just kind of makes sense, especially as some people who have dealt with stuff like that in just either careers or personally or friends or whatever. So definitely something that this kind of fits into every mold, not only just everyday life. I mean, think about Justin Tucker could be having some terrible thoughts today. I mean, just to bring that to light. I know we're all up in arms about him and probably booing him and doing all this other stuff, but I mean, think about, he could be in a dark place right now as well. Who knows? Right.
That was my first thought when I saw those missed kicks. I was like, damn, like that's heavy. That is some heavy stuff, because there's so much pressure in sports for these athletes. The pressure of the world's on them. And then online, we all say whatever it is we want to say, because you wouldn't say it to their face, but they're humans too.
Yeah. The internet can be an ugly place sometimes.
Yeah, don't read that shit. Get off Twitter or X, whatever the hell that shit's called.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much for coming on and talking about everything and informing our viewers and informing us about NAMI. And it's been a passion project, like Brian said, for him to have something like this go on the show. And he talks about it all the time. So really important stuff. And thank you very much so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much. And like I said, guys, whoever's watching, listening, whatever it may be, I'm still nervous. Like I'm sweating right now, basically. So thank you so much for putting me in an uncomfortable place, but also putting me in a better place.
Anytime. Yeah. Anytime. Thank you again, guys. And I hope to talk to you guys soon. And if anyone needs anything, I'm always here.
I'm going to go on mute for a second, go off camera, say goodbye to Amanda, and then I'll be right back on, boys. Okay.
Cool.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you, Amanda. All right. I guess we can talk about this stupid week of football.
Where do you want to start? Maryland getting blown out, which we kind of knew was going to happen, but
yeah. Look, and Maryland scored like 20 seconds into the game. They were up 7-0, and they didn't put up another point the whole game.
We had a lead, we just couldn't hold it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was terrible. I mean, look, if you guys know me personally, if you're watching this, look, you know that I absolutely despise Penn State. So definitely don't like losing to them. You know, I have a lot of Eagles fans in my life that are friends. So definitely didn't like losing to them. I have a couple regulars at the bar I'm going to owe a Chris $20 bill to tonight, which is unfortunate for me. But let's just talk about the picks against the spread so far this week. Brooks and our dad went 7-8 so far this week, not counting the game tonight. Obviously, it hasn't happened. Brian went 8-7, and I went 6-9. I continue my losing ways. I'm terrible at this. Just fade me. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I guess I'm just not watching enough football. Great game on Saturday. Let's go State from our the only acceptable person who's allowed to like that team. Pigtown agrees with me. Stupid state. Pennsylvania is a dumb state. Pennsylvania being the host of the two teams that my teams lost to this weekend. But what do you want to start with, Brooks? Do you want to start with the NFL, or do you want to wait for Brian? How do you want to go?
Yeah, we can wait for Brian to. There he is.
Speaking of, he's hopping back on.
Hey, Brooks, can you do me a favor? Can you send a link to our podcast, a YouTube link, to me and Amanda? I'm going to put us on a group chat.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm late. Oops. Joe's joining late. That's all right, Joe. We had a young lady by the name of Amanda on talking about some mental health stuff, so you'll be able to see that after the pod or whenever. If you want to watch it, it'll be on our YouTube and on wherever you're watching. Yeah. So Brian, I just went through. You were 8-7 so far this week in picks. Brooks and my dad were 7-8. I'm 6-9 because I suck.
Dude, you suck.
I'm so bad. You guys want to start with the Thanksgiving games, or do you want to start Ravens Eagles?
Let's start with Thanksgiving games. Why not?
Okay.
Right.
All right. We'll go through them in the order with which they were played. Detroit squeaks by Chicago, and Brian, it's your day, dude. Matt Eberflus has been relieved of his duties as Chicago Bears head coach. Would you like to bask in this moment, sir?
No, it's okay. You just got to call me Socrates for the rest of time. It's okay. I'm a wily old sage.
Well, your prediction was that he would be the first coach fired, and I believe he was the third or fourth. So, not exactly there. Yeah. But yeah, what complete mismanagement of the clock. Time expires. The Bears still have a timeout. They didn't even set up to kick a field goal. What did we think about the ending of this game? I was tripped the fan out at the end of this game, so I had to watch it via highlights.
I'm going to bask in this one. Forget the clock management portion, which was obviously terrible, and I'm not going to beat a dead horse. To then go to a press conference and say that you handled it correctly.
Jesus. It's like he was trying to get fired.
I know.
Maybe he is. Maybe he is trying to get the hell out of
here. Are you? I mean, in what chemical imbalance in your brain do you have to think that you handled it correctly?
Yeah.
I mean, he was like fucking a football right there. I mean, that was so stupid.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, look, it's Caleb Williams has looked a little bit better over the last couple of weeks, and their offense is clicking a little bit more. They've stayed in these games quite a bit. DJ Moore seems like he's being focused on a little bit more. He's been pretty good the last couple of weeks, which I think helps their offense because he's a good player and he was just not getting the ball very much at the beginning of the year. But yeah, I mean, this coaching decision was absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe he didn't get fired before this game, and I'm surprised it took until the next day. I can't believe he made it a day after this game. It seemed like nothing was going to happen, and then Brooks and I were on the golf course, and we found out like maybe first or second hole. Really cold round of golf, by the way, on Friday, Brooks.
Yeah, I think I played with the coldest, or not the coldest, with the oldest set of golf clubs still in use in
Yeah.
the state of Maryland.
Yeah.
That was a rough one for me. That was a rough one. I'm never
What's
traveling
better?
without golf clubs again.
What's better, your golf game with old clubs or Dusty picking winners in?
Oh boy,
yeah, that's really a tough one.
You don't want to be on
Trivia
either
question,
side.
unintentional trivia question.
Yeah. By the way, we're going to tally up the last couple weeks and get the graphic back going because I know we had that going for a couple weeks of our season-long tallies. Mine's going to be really, really bad. But these guys are at or above 500, I believe, for the season. So yeah, we're gonna get that graphic out at some point this week. I know I didn't do it last week, but a lot of stuff.
Happy
man.
Cyber Monday.
Big Town, you're the man, dude. Holy shit. Don't
Big
play
Town's-
Morgan Town, dude, on the
Big
radio.
Town's on a Cyber Monday spree, dude.
Yeah, I got today as well.
Yeah, nothing else from this game other than the Lions continue to win, and they're continue to be, I think, one of the better teams in football. Let's move on to Dallas and the Giants, which we don't have to talk about for long because this game is pretty inconsequential in the landscape of the NFL right now. Dallas 5-7, I guess they're kind of still technically in the playoff picture, but I mean, they don't have their quarterback. Their coach is a moron, and their owner cares more about the curtains or not lack of curtains in the stadium than he does about putting a good football team on the field, it seems like. Do you guys have any thoughts on this game?
Mike McCarthy looks like he ate Brian Daboll. He is huge now. He's so
All right,
big.
let's not shame him. Let's not shame him for his body
You're
here.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
He's still a moron.
Why do we think
Yeah,
he's a moron of a coach, though?
Because he's
Playing
only
devil's
surviving the
advocate here.
talent that Jerry Jones has given him. So drafting Micah Parsons 11 or 12 overall, great pick. They probably didn't even want to pick him there. They probably wanted someone to move up. But they have a ton of talent, and Mike McCarthy is a terrible game manager, terrible clock manager, and he just looks like he's lost when he's on the sideline. I'm sorry. I know he went like 12-4 when there was only a 16-game season back then, but he just no success. It's the equivalent of like right now the Ravens. They got to get over the hump. It's James Franklin at Penn State. Sorry, Chris Merrick. You can't get over the fucking hump ever.
Yeah. I don't think he's the worst coach in the NFL.
No,
but I definitely think they need. I definitely think they need to make a change there, and I think they will at the end of the season. Just based on the team being pretty, seems like they're pretty flat. And I mean, they lost their quarterback, and the season's not going well, so it's a little bit understandable. But it's a bad situation in Dallas. I don't really need.
And I can't say I got to qualify. I can't say Mike McCarthy can't get over the hump because the man won a Super Bowl. But I honestly believe that Super Bowl was won by Charles Woodson. That's a real statement. And look,
Jordan Nelson kicked ass in that Super Bowl too.
Yeah, I mean, very debatable. I understand that a lot of people are not going to agree with me, but Charles Woodson was the heartbeat of that team. Don't give me this Aaron Rodgers trash shit, and it's not because I hate Aaron Rodgers as a person. It's Charles Woodson was the beating heart of that team, and when he went out with a broken collarbone, I believe right around halftime of that game, he was on the sideline still pumping people up. And he was, if you ever go back and watch like that the Super Bowl like show they do, or the like 1 hour thing of all the Super Bowl winners, Charles Woodson for every playoff game will be the guy talking in the locker room. It wasn't Aaron Rodgers, it wasn't Mike McCarthy. And I'm sure Mike McCarthy gave some sort of speech while he was chugging gravy. But I mean, it was Charles Woodson that really won that Super Bowl for that team.
Well, I mean, he was a Hall of Famer at the time. I mean, he should be. And I mean, Rodgers, for all intents and purposes, was still very young, so he shouldn't be the leader of that team when Charles Woodson's in there. It's like it's like asking Joe Flacco to be the leader of the team when Ray Lewis and Ed Reed are there. You know, it's just not right, not the right thing to do. I mean, just to add some context, like his coaching records in Dallas, his first season 6-10, then he's been 12-5 3 years in a row, and I mean those are good records. And then obviously 5-7 this year, but I mean, I don't know. I can't sit here and say the guy is the reason why they're losing at the moment.
And Jerry has nothing he can possibly say to get himself out of the situation that he's put the team in. I mean,
he's also said he hasn't rolled out bringing him back and signing him to a new contract.
He said that this week. Yeah, he did sign that this week.
Say, I'm going to fire him at the end of the year.
Yeah,
I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. I don't know if like the question. I assume the question was posed, like, are you going to be bringing him back? So I mean, you can't say anything other than that. But or you can say that we're just going to we're reevaluating everything. I guess.
Yeah.
but-
This
So,
was
I don't
the Rico Dowdle breakout game. Good for him, fantasy owners. CD Lamb was
looked
terrible
good.
in this game. But
He
yeah,
was good.
Dowdle did look good in this game. He got in the end zone. He had over 100 yards on the ground. Like I said, not a very consequential game in the landscape of the NFL this year because neither of those teams are realistically going to be competing for anything.
How many
down the stretch.
passes did CD drop? I know there was at least 2.
He dropped
Quite a few.
a couple really easy ones. One of them hit him basically in the face mask,
Mhm.
and that would have been an easy 30 yards, which is so frustrating as a fantasy owner when your player does that. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on to Green Bay, Miami. This was a rough one for me because I cashed out a bet that I should not have cashed out.
Oh my God! Please explain this. Please,
Yeah.
you got to hear this shit.
So yeah, I was.
Here, sit with my cap.
Yeah, I had a big like a 50% bonus on a $100 bet, and I got one of those. There was one of those like same game parlays that I saw that DraftKings put together that I actually really liked, and it was basically all the starting running backs to score from every team in the second 2 Thanksgiving games. So Rico Dowdle, Tyron Tracy, Devon Achane, and Josh Jacobs, all to score touchdowns. Dowdle and Tracy both hit in the first game. I forget that I had placed the bet because it's Thanksgiving, and we're playing cards and we're doing family stuff. And then I remember after Jaden Reed scores the first touchdown of the game for the Packers, I was like, oh crap, I had that bet. I wonder if Tracy and Dowdle both scored. They did. So I go on there and it's a $100 bet to win $22.50, something like that. And it's a cash out option for like $280. And I look at Brooks, I was like, should I do this? And he was just like, I mean, you basically tripled your money. You should do it. So I did it. Like 4 plays later, Josh Jacobs scores. And then the cash out would have gone way through the roof. I probably would have gotten like $700 or $800 on the cash out.
Yeah.
And then like with like 5 minutes left in the game or something like that, Devon Achane gets into the end zone on a screenplay or something like that. Anyway, I cashed it out for $280 and it would have won $2,250. So that's done. But
Really,
Yeah,
your
he's only
only
buying
mistake-
one pair of shoes. You could have bought all the shoes, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, really, in those situations, you're never going to wait till 5 minutes left in the game to see if he's. I mean, your
No.
biggest mistake was wait. You should have waited.
I should have waited until like
that
halftime.
drive. Well, you should have
Yeah.
waited past that drive, after that drive, and just cashed it out after that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
look,
And if I would have cashed it out for 700 or 800, I would have been a lot happier than, but look, I tripled my bet. So am I
You didn't
upset?
lose- you
Am
didn't
I
lose
upset?
$100.
A little bit, but it's not the end of the world, right?
You didn't lose
are you going to
$100.
remember the tripling of your money, or are you going to remember that you could have had over $2,000?
No, I'm definitely going to be mad about that one for a while because there's so many bets that I've missed by one leg that I could have cashed out but didn't. And that one, I was just like, look, I'm just going to cash it out because I always do this and I always end up losing by one leg. And then, of course, the one you cash out. But whatever. Green Bay was dominant in this game. They controlled the whole game. Miami, once again, looked like they had no desire to be playing in those cold temperatures. Jonnu Smith had a really good game. He continues to be a thorn in my side fantasy-wise because I keep playing him every week, and he keeps putting up points, and it's driving me insane. And then Tyreek Hill had a touchdown in this game. He had a good game, I believe. But yeah, do you guys have any thoughts on this game? Do you think Green Bay belongs in the upper echelon of the NFC with that 9-3 record, or do we have a lot of reservations still about them?
I'm going to jump in here. There's a shitload of reservations about Green Bay, and it really comes down to something I've said multiple times. It's almost a Jameis Winston effect. Jordan Love keeps both teams in the game. So now, if he gets really hot, I mean, he is, he's white hot. He's Hansel hot, if you want to go Zoolander reference. But when he's like mildly off, I can't trust the offense of the Green Bay Packers. Doesn't mean it's a bad offense. It just means there's so much room for error with him more than other quarterbacks.
I just think he needs to not turn the ball over right now. He's just turned the ball over way too much this year.
Yeah.
Compared to last year.
I think Orlovsky broke it down, Brooks. It was like, you see, like, he'll make a throw that's terrible, gets picked. Then he'll make another terrible throw, but it's a seed that splits two guys and it goes for a touchdown. So it's like almost like the Brett Favre effect. Gunslinger.
Yeah.
I mean, look, dude, you miss every shot you don't take, right? But sometimes those shots are so consequential to the detriment of the team that it scares the living shit out of me. Is Taryn watching right now? So I want to give a shout out to a young lady named Taryn who made me these lovely, lovely, lovely things.
Aw.
You are such a nice person, Taryn. Thank you. You can make anyone smile. Thunder cunt.
All right, put that down. We're gonna get demonetized. Yeah, Joe says Packers are a fraud team. Joe says Packers are a fraud team. Brooks, did you expand on the while I was away getting myself a banquet beer? Did you expand any, or did you have thoughts on that one?
No, I basically said that just Jordan. I mean, they win basically when they don't. They win basically when Jordan Love doesn't turn the ball over. I mean, you can say that about a lot of teams, but he's just turning the ball over so much more this year than he did last year. And he's just, I mean, he doesn't look the same as last year. Let's be real. And I still got questions about this team as well. So I don't know. I'm kind of with Joe here. I can't figure out I can't sit here and say they're a fraud team yet, but I'm pretty close to saying it. I'll say that.
Do you think the Ravens, question for the group and for anyone watching, do you think the Ravens are the AFC version of the Packers?
I had a lot of deep thinking about this last night.
Were you naked? Were you clothed? Like, what's going on here, man?
I don't. Look, here's the thing I know about Green Bay, at least. Here's the thing I know about Green Bay, at least, is that they're well coached. I think he's super underrated as a coach. That being the guy whose name I can't think of right now that their head coach is. Who is it? What's his name? LaFleur. Yeah, stupid. But yeah, I think he proved having Malik. Was it Malik Willis or Malik Washington? Whoever was the quarterback, I can't remember. I think it was Malik Willis for those couple games that Jordan Love had to miss. That he was able to sustain winning football even with a guy who had only been on the team for 2 weeks. I think he's been really underrated. I think Jordan Love, like we've said, hasn't been really playing very well, and they're still coming out with these games. I think their defense is a little bit better than we have given them credit for over the course of this season so far. But yeah, I mean, they just keep racking up wins. And at this point, right, it's like Parcells says, you are what your record says you are.
Yeah.
I mean, the Packers are a well-run organization. It's as simplistic as that. So they're going to figure out a way to win games. It's just, can they get over the hump? And to your point, to Dusty, Malik Willis, LaFleur found a way to fit the offense for those couple of weeks to the strengths of Malik Willis. Throw balls in the flat. You don't got to throw deep all the time. Stuff like that. As opposed to Jordan Love, who's got a cannon for an arm, but it could be a little inaccurate. They'll figure it out. I just don't know if their defense is the best part of their team.
Yeah.
Which we haven't been able to say for a while. That's always been their downfall, really. And then this year
they traded away Preston Smith, who's a semi-decent player, I believe, was starting games for him.
And he's been on that team for a long time too. So I think there must have been some kind of a relationship thing there, because that move was confusing to me when it was made. Because usually you see a team that's not competitive make that kind of a move, but the Packers, obviously 9-3, are still very competitive in the NFC. So that was strange when that happened. But anyway, let's move on to the Black Friday game. This game was so stupid. I think Vegas should have won. I don't understand why the whistle was blown. The ref runs in from the sideline going like this, and then the play is still happening. After the whistle gets blown, the Chiefs make a recovery, and then they all huddle up, and then they change from illegal or from false start, which is a dead penalty. You cancel the play. The play's over, but they change it to an illegal shift, which you don't cancel the play. I don't understand how you can count a fumble being recovered after the whistle's blown. I just don't get it. I think this was a complete joke, and I think it was officiated terribly. Do you guys agree? Disagree? I mean, what do we think?
This game should be taken off the record books.
Yeah.
And also, the Vegas Raiders should have won the damn game. I mean, I think Carlson missed 2 kicks.
Yep. He did.
I mean, what's going on? I mean, it's just kickers in general.
Watching Red Zone yesterday was brutal. Everyone was missing.
Kim's missing kicks again. Like the most reliable kickers in the league, like forever, are missing kicks all over the league right now. Except for Autry missed one, or Aubrey, sorry, missed one. Last week or 2 weeks ago. He's still obviously the best at the moment, but everybody else, it's just weird. I don't know.
Everyone was touting Boswell a couple weeks ago. He's been
the best kicker in the league this year. I mean, he has, straight up. Him and the guy Bates for Detroit, who I think just missed his first field goal this week.
I think
we need to bring Martin Gramatica back.
More of a Lawrence Tynes guy.
Oh, you're a big Lawrence Tynes guy.
I don't know. I think this was a complete joke. What I did learn from this game, Brock Bowers is fucking awesome.
This dude
is a stud.
And they would, if we redrafted, he'd go top 4. Second, he also looks 38.
Yeah.
And I'm losing my hair from period stuff, but he's got power alleys going right here, dude. I mean, I don't know what's happening.
He's got power alleys.
We also can't forget that they have Maher as well. Mayor Maher, however you say his name, from Notre Dame. I mean, that dude.
You can't even remember his name tells you how good Brock Bowers is.
I mean, and that dude for
Michael Mayer,
Brock Bowers.
Yes, yeah. He's a stud. I mean, I think he's a really good tight end as well, and obviously was a stud in college. So, I mean, like Brian said, that tells you how good Brock Bowers is when we're not even talking about him, and he's still out there making plays. So
their offense is basically let's just feed him. Because we have this super mega talented guy, this is gonna be our offense now because they don't have explosive weapons really anywhere on the field, on offense at least. But enough about this game. Look, the Kansas City just keeps on winning these dumb games in stupid ways, and they're just gonna keep doing it forever because that's who they are.
We're gonna talk about frauds. I just don't see this holding up in the playoffs. So. Like you said, the record is what it is, but I just don't see this being a championship caliber all-around team. So we'll see.
It reminds me of the Philly team that was 10-1 last year, and it kind of felt like smoke and mirrorsy. And obviously Philly looks really good right now. They've won 7 or 8 straight games, and they whooped up on us yesterday. But it just you're right. It stinks more than it has in the past, right, for Kansas City.
I agree. I think this is, we all said it last year, but they were still like, you kind of had that feeling, right? This year, it's like, it feels like they're getting a lot of luck on their side or outside help, however you want to look at this, depending on if you're a conspiracy theorist or not, but they are, they just don't feel like the team that's going to do it.
I saw a report that Hollywood Brown might be coming back in week 16 or 17. I don't know if that changes their outlook all that much, but
I don't think.
No.
I don't think he's going to play, to be honest with you. I think the guys that are there right now are better than him.
Yeah, they probably
He's a human candy stick. He's going to get fucking hurt. Like, the minute he goes out there, he's going to bitch and moan and whine. He's going to wear some kind of gold chain. It's going to, strangle him. He's going to have to come off the field, and it's going to be over.
Yeah, I'm with Dusty here. These feel like the Eagles of last year, and they feel like the Steelers of 3 years ago when they were 11-0 or something like that, and we all kind of
they lost to Washington.
Yeah, when they had mashed potato Ben at the end of the career.
We were all watching the same games, and we were all saying like, this doesn't look like a team. You know what I mean? This doesn't look like a team that has this kind of record. So,
end of a generation of the good kickers. Possibly. It looks like there's a whole shit ton of bad kickers right now.
I don't think so. I think this could be an outlier year.
The best kicker right now is sitting in the middle of this screen. He outkicked his coverage with his wife. Your wife's a stud, man. She's a killer. You are a kicker. You are great.
Fair.
Yeah.
Setting records over here.
Caitlin's watching this. You're welcome, Caitlin.
Hey, and thank you for pumping me up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Get some brownie points,
All right, let's move on. What's the next game? My computer is completely frozen, so I can't look at the notes.
Arizona,
That's okay.
Minnesota.
Brooks mentioned the word fraud. Brooks mentioned frauds. I'm going to go with my that's a shame for the week. Ryan Day's fucking dye job on his hair and beard.
Oh, it looks so bad.
Dude,
Looks
you're
so
blacker than my
didn't
vest.
see it.
What
I don't
is
think I saw it.
happening? It's not natural. And you're
Yeah.
losing games to fucking Michigan, who's terrible.
Yeah, what the hell was that? Ohio State.
13-10? You gotta be fisting me with that shit. You gotta win that game.
Also,
That makes me happy.
loyal listener Nick Vogt wanted me to shout out the South Carolina Gamecocks, who are the hottest team, in his words, the hottest team on the planet right now, and he really thinks that they should get that last that number 12 seed in the playoff, even with their 3 losses.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. They're probably not going to get it. They're almost certainly going to be the first team out because I think Bama's gonna slide in over them. But yeah, weird college football stuff. Put them in the playoffs, you cowards.
I'd much rather watch Boise State. I'd much rather watch Boise State and see Genty or watch Colorado in the playoffs than South Carolina at this point.
And while we're on the topic of college football, I think everyone needs to always remember this. And I mean, everyone needs to remember this. College football playoffs are a television show. They are not made for the best teams. These TV networks, it is a TV show. They are going to put the teams on that will get eyeballs on television or sell out stadiums. That is simplistic as it can fucking get. I'm sorry, Nick. South Carolina doesn't fucking move the needle. It doesn't. I'm not saying that it's a good thing. I'm just saying it sucks.
It just depends on the committee, right? Because I mean, the committee changes, I think, every 4 years or something like that.
Who's the head of the committee? Janet Reno right now? I mean, they change it all the goddamn time. Condoleezza Rice was the head of the committee for one point. I mean, I'm being serious.
You're right. I know. But it changes all that. It does change. I think it's every 4 years. It could be 2 years. I don't know. I think it's got to be 4 years.
They change heads like I change underwear. And
this should be something we can vote on.
I don't know who votes on it, but it's
I think Ronald McDonald.
It's really like they kind of have a you're
killing me, man. You're killing me.
You can kind of see a trend with the committee. It's like, all right, are they gonna go for the actual record? Are they gonna put more value on like the big losses? Are they gonna put more value on the strength of schedule and their big wins? So this is the first year for this playoff and obviously in this committee. So we'll kind of see how whenever they do the final, whenever they do like the 12 that make it or whatever, we're going to see what they're actually going to be putting more emphasis on. So because who knows at this point? Who knows? I mean, we'll see.
I mean, to go high level here, I mean, this tells you how much of a sham the playoff is. They're already talking about extending it to 14 teams next year.
It's so stupid. Like 12 is already too many. Like
money. That's why.
Well, in my opinion,
doesn't move the needle.
Yeah, in my opinion, 12 is too many.
The Gamecocks. If Steve Spurrier's there, the Gamecocks get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that, but anyway, let's move on to something we actually watch a lot more in depth.
Can I? But while we're on college football, I want to start a new segment called "That Was Awesome" instead of "That's a Shame."
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
When Georgia Tech went to that 8 overtime game, one of the coolest, probably the coolest thing I saw all weekend was how much Kirby Smart cared for the coach. And I apologize for not knowing the coach's name from Georgia Tech. Him hugging that man for like 2.5 minutes, and he's got his – and Brooks, if you can pull up this photo of the Georgia Tech coach putting his head down and having the hat over his – like the bill of his hat over his face, and Kirby Smart is talking to him. It was like a 2.5 minute conversation that Kirby Smart talked into his ear, and you can see that the Georgia Tech coach was extremely emotional, crying. What a good move! Like what a respectful, fucking passionate move by that man. And that also shows you how much the Georgia Tech coach cares about his team and his players.
Brett Key is his name, by the way.
Okay, and I don't know if he coached under Kirby Smart or if they just really were friends, but holy hell.
I like that comment, Nick. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't aware, this game went to 8 overtimes. And Georgia Tech, obviously a big underdog, pushed Georgia to their absolute limit. Georgia absolutely needed this game if they wanted to keep their playoff hopes alive. So, really classy move from Kirby Smart here. Really cool to see. Coaches coming together after the fact. Obviously, they both coached really well, and that's a tough loss to take if you're Georgia Tech. You really had a chance to make a statement, and that probably be the biggest win that program has had in over a decade, I would think.
The fighting Boils. The fighting Boils down there. They did have that walk-off against Florida State to start the year before we found out that Florida State were frauds.
Yeah. But he used to be at Georgia. Didn't know that.
Thrown around a lot today.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm looking at the committee for the selection committee, and one of the people on it was the
Jared from Subway? Who?
No, was the athletic director from the Naval Academy for 22 years.
That's good. Seems qualified.
28 years, University of Nevada head coach. 40 years in coaching, including 20 years as head coach of Ohio State. Jim
Marcus Stewart's in there. Paula Dean.
Nope. Ward Manuel, Michigan's athletic director.
Wonderful.
All right. Let's go back to the NFL. The first game on the Sunday slate that we have to talk about here is Arizona versus Minnesota. This game was 23-22. Pretty predictable that this game would be close because I would say despite their records being pretty drastically different, I think these are two pretty evenly matched teams. Arizona now 6-6 after taking the lead in the NFC West 2 weeks ago, have dropped their last two. And Minnesota is 10-2. And their defense is, I think they're one of the better defenses in the league. Still keep giving flowers to Brian Flores. He's been doing a great job for them. Jefferson had a bit better of a game, looked a little bit more involved. And Kyler Murray just wasn't able to finish it off. 23-22. Do you have anything on this game, Brooks? Did you pay a lot of attention to it or not much?
Not a ton. Definitely not one of the ones I was focused on.
Yeah.
I was more just focused on McBride here for my fantasy team. But yeah, this is another team that I just don't know what they are at this point, to be honest with you.
Being Minnesota or Arizona?
No, well, both really. I mean, I kind of was starting to see who Arizona is.
They seem like an 8-8 team, and they're 6-6. Like it just makes sense. They're going to be 9-8 or 8-9. It feels like, right?
Agreed. But with that division, who knows?
Joe thinks Arizona's a dark horse for the playoffs.
I mean,
it's not the worst idea you've ever had, Joe.
They still could get in, So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's Minnesota is definitely one of those teams that it's like the Packers. I guess that division right now. I don't know if they're just beating up on each other and they're just all tired at this point, but I don't know. Watching them at times, I'm just like, this doesn't feel like a team that's going to dominate in the playoffs. But we'll see. I don't know. Still plenty of time.
So for Minnesota, their final 5 games are Atlanta, Chicago, Seattle, Green Bay, and Detroit. I'm assuming that Week 18 game against Detroit is not going to matter because Detroit will have likely already clinched whatever they're gonna have to clinch, but maybe not because Minnesota really is only 1 game behind them right now. Although they did lose to Detroit earlier in the year, and Green Bay is 9-3. They're not far off either. Detroit's got to stay true. Hey Antonio, what's going on, dude? Thanks for watching. How
you doing, my man? Y'all good?
Nothing else on this game. This game was just kind of a red zone game for me. Speaking of red zone games, Indianapolis and New England. Look, I didn't watch a ton of this game, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Do you guys have any thoughts on this game? Do we think Indianapolis as a 6-7 team matters in the AFC playoff picture, or no, not really?
I mean, they still definitely have a path to get in. They're not completely out of it. Do I think they're going to get in? No. but they kind of control their destiny at this point. They're going to end up tied. They're battling the Broncos at this point, and they have to play the Broncos down the stretch, which is going to basically, as long as they can keep pace with them, that's going to decide who gets in between the two. So,
Yeah.
Would you take the Broncos or the Colts right now in a game?
Broncos.
Which is the field?
Broncos. Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you're the last team in the field, Broncos Colts should be one of the last two teams in the field. I'm taking the Broncos all day. That's why I can't say the Colts are real.
Yeah.
I just hope that game matters when it gets to it. I think that'll be a fun watch, at least.
Sure. Yeah.
So
That could be your last game of the. Well, I guess is that the last game? They can't play the last week of the season because it's all division games. But
yeah, I got it. But I don't know. I got.
Antonio says tough Ravens loss. Justin Tucker has been good for us. How does he get his confidence back? Look, I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of people talking about this, writing about this for, and they have already been all season with Tucker struggling. I don't really know. I know a lot of people were throwing blame at Jordan Stout as well. I mean, look, it's just we're so not used to seeing this, and now it does not feel good when he's going out there and we really need a kick. That's all I can say as a Ravens fan. Obviously, you can't cut the guy. He's the best kicker in the history of football until this year. But it's been brutal, and I really hope that he's taken his licks now, and then in the playoffs he's going to be rock solid. But obviously not as much confidence in him as we've had in years past. Do you guys have thoughts on that?
No,
I'm going to say. Go ahead, Brooks.
I was going to say we'll get to it when we get to the game.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean,
Fair
but
enough,
I'm going to answer Antonio's question like right away. How's he get his confidence back? He has a team and a cocoon around him that is so strong, and a coach that really respects him. His confidence will come back. We've seen kickers. Mason Crosby went through this.
Got to see a couple go through.
Yeah, that's a good one. Joe says he's going to be going to Wawa instead of Road Photo Day.
There you go. Change it up. It's George Costanza, man. I'm going to take a tuna and rye. You know.
Yeah.
I'm unemployed and I live with my parents.
So, but Antonio, to your point, man, or to your question, he has such a good team and a good organization and a coach and people that trust him. His confidence will come back. I don't think there's any magic elixir. He can't go run his head into a wall or you go punch something.
Michael secret stuff.
He's got secret sauce. He's gonna he's gonna get his confidence back. He's got a lot of friends and family around him and a team.
Yeah, I would compare kickers pretty similarly to pitchers and golfers. They're very finicky in terms of confidence and stuff like that.
Yeah,
well, we've been over pitchers, now they're bitches. So
I just think just seeing a couple go through does wonders for somebody's confidence. I mean, seeing a couple go through, like split the uprights and being like, oh, I feel back to normal. Get your confidence right. I mean, that could be one game could get him right back to where he needs to be. But we need to have that game soon.
Hey, have you guys been hearing this? Like I've been hearing it here in Canton that it's the holder's not holding the ball well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Stout was getting a lot of stuff.
Speculation.
Yeah, I mean, look,
in what way? You're not turning the laces out, Dan? Like what's going on?
I don't know. I'm not an expert on kicking, so I'm not going to give my opinion because I don't have an opinion that's informed enough to give.
Is this just people making excuses to make sure Tucker doesn't feel the pressure? Like, what the fuck is this? Like,
I mean, maybe. I think it's people just trying to cope with the fact that maybe our unbreakable kicker is now suddenly breakable.
I mean, it's a real thought because Pigtown put out a stat that since Jordan Stout has taken over holding duties in 2022, Tucker has the 28th in the league in field goal percentage since he's taken over. He's 83% or 84%. It's just weird.
What the fuck does that have to do with the hold?
It's just, I mean, it could.
Is there video documentation of the ball being tilted or something? I mean, okay,
I don't know. It's one of them things. It's one of those things that I just don't know. It's one of those things that a lot of people probably don't know. It's a lot of just like when people thought that the laces were on the holder. It's not on the holder. It's on the snapper. It's not. It's the snapper's responsibility to have the laces correct. That's just what it comes down to. That's where it's at this point. That's why they get paid a lot more money now. So there could be something going on that we just don't know about because we don't know the intricacies about yet. But you think they would have figured it out after 2 years, but we'll see.
Is it because Jordan Stout uses cocoa butter like Jergens? Like, what does it matter?
It's also Stout kind of sucks as a kicker as well, and people are going to throw blame on him first before they throw it on Tucker, who's been so good for us for so long.
And where did he go to college? Can you just remind me?
The Pennsylvania State University.
Yeah, just he's terrible and he should go back there. Maybe he has another year of eligibility.
Sam Cook is on the staff. He is a coach as well. He's there. So I assume he's working with Jordan Stout on holding.
Does he still have legs? Is he in a wheelchair? Does Sam Cook still have legs?
People are asking.
Yeah.
He's not
Maybe we could
right?
Sam Cook to come out of retirement. Maybe we could get one of the Colquitt brothers to come out of retirement. We need something.
Lieutenant Dan got magic legs. Why can't Sam Cook get magic legs?
Lieutenant Dan ain't got no legs. All right. We talked a little bit about Tucker, but we'll get back to the Ravens Eagles game when it comes up on the rundown. Chargers Atlanta. Kirk Cousins now, after throwing 4 picks, one of which was housed, pick 6, is now the leader in the NFL with 13 interceptions in just 12 games. Is it time to start thinking about Michael Penix if you're Atlanta, or what? I mean, what do we think? Because it's been pretty real. Kirk Cousins hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in 3 weeks.
Jeez, it's been that long.
Yeah.
Well, he still wears short sleeve button downs, SSBDs. So I'm not surprised. My methodology.
Do you have any analysis, or are you just that?
No, he's got a lot of Coles cash. That's my analysis.
Yeah, he just doesn't look good right now. I mean, not that the Chargers defense is a slouch, but yeah, 4 picks is rough. I mean, and you think about it, they lost the final score 17-13. If he doesn't throw 4 picks, they could. I mean,
the Chargers were. The Chargers wanted to lose this game so bad. They wanted the Chargers so bad, and just Atlanta just like, no, we're not letting you.
Is this an indictment on Kirk Cousins, or is this an indictment on the weapons he has around?
I mean, look, they spent top picks on all of these weapons. I don't know how the offensive line is, but I mean, wonderful. Kyle Pitts, top 10 pick. Drake London, top 10 pick. Bijan Robinson, top 10 pick. It's not like they're not surrounding him with guys. Darnell Mooney was a very serviceable receiver for the Bears before he came over. He's been pretty good for them this year. Yeah,
Kyle Pitts has not panned out at all. 4th overall, tight end, and he had multiple quarterbacks, right? So I think this is Bijan Robinson is the real deal. He is not getting the touches that he needs, but Calvin Ridley got shipped off because of betting, right? I just think Kirk Cousins is in a bad situation, but he chose that bad situation.
Yeah, look, he chose $180 million. You probably would have done the same.
He started the year pretty good though. It's just been probably the second half of the season. Really, it's been a little rough.
I don't care where they get drafted. Just because they're drafted high doesn't mean they're going to be a good player. See John Ross from the Bengals. I think he's currently selling used cars with no cars in the lot. So
I think he was on the Giants. I feel like I remember that.
Even better. That's like a used car salesman right there. He sounds like an Oakland A. So, what? I mean, I feel like there's a lack of talent around him other than Bijan, and I think he's the best player on the Falcons right now is Jerry D tackle.
Who?
I don't know.
I'm
not watching Atlanta Falcons games that closely, but I just want to know what changed from the first half of the season till now, because he looked pretty damn good the first half of the season.
Grady Jarrett. That's what Grady Jarrett. That's the name.
Grady Jarrett. Yeah, he's getting older though. I don't think he's quite as good as he used to be. Anyway. That's true. Anyway, on the Charger side of things, they did lose J.K. Dobbins. It looks like probably for the rest of the regular season he is on IR, so he is eligible to come back in Week 17. But I think they'll probably play it pretty calculated with him, especially if they're going to be a wild card team anyway, which it seems like they will be because they're going to be stuck behind the Chiefs in that division. I think they're 3 games back of them. So on the Chargers side of things, a little bit worrisome without J.K. Dobbins. He's been good for them this year, but Ladd McConkey, another big game, almost 120 yards. That guy's been really, really good. So good for him and good for the Chargers for winning a game that in every other season it seems like the Chargers always lose these kind of games, and they won. So good for them. Defense played well. Pittsburgh and Cincy. God, this game killed me. 44-38. How about Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers just firing off on all cylinders? This Cincinnati defense is so bad.
I thought the Ravens defense was bad. The Cincinnati Bengals defense is Swiss cheese. Hot garbage. Extra hot garbage.
He had so Russell Wilson had 250 yards in the first half. First time he's ever done that in his career. That's
crazy.
He could have had 250 yards rushing. There was so much room for him to go.
Yeah.
It was stupid. Joe Burrow must absolutely hate himself every damn day because he is playing lights out and he should be the MVP if his team was semi-decent.
I mean, he only threw for 309 yards. I feel like I feel like for him to keep them in this game, he had to have thrown for like close to 500 yards.
500 yards.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Because they made a little comeback.
Lit a fire candle to get a win right now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, Burrow is literally having, if you just look at the statistics and put the record out the window, he's having probably one of the best seasons of any quarterback in the league, and they're still 4-8 because their team is just so bad around him. Other than Chase and Higgins, and now Chase Brown seems like a kind of a guy. It just seems like that team is in shambles.
Putting up CFL numbers.
Yeah.
CFL.
Yeah.
And it's just
and they still get games. It's rough for them. But let's move on. Good for Pittsburgh. They improved to 9-3. The Ravens dropped to 8-5. So they are in the driver's seat, and they do control their own destiny. Going into
it is nice to see Pittsburgh's defense get cut up a little bit. So that gives me a little hope for when we could potentially see him again.
TJ Watt strip sack in this game, by the way. That guy
TJ Watt should have went in the Hawkeye draft. All right. I mean, I might wear a TJ Watt daddy shirt. All right.
Yeah.
I might get TJ Watt tattooed at a tram stand.
All right. Yeah, TJ Watt is the Ravens' daddy at the moment. So,
our mental health lady is over here on my couch, just going.
Good for you. Stupid state. This next game is Brian's favorite quarterback versus Brian's favorite forehead. Geno Smith versus Aaron Rodgers.
That's right, my favorite forehead, Geno Smith versus the fucking Plot Waffle Darkness Man. Yeah. New York Jets go up 14-0 in the first quarter here. And then, Aaron Rodgers just did not play well. He missed a lot of throws. He missed Garrett Wilson on a wide open play in the end zone. And then the next play tried to go to him again and throw a pick six to D tackle who returned it like 100 yards and nobody called him, by the way. It was awesome. Weird. He was on ayahuasca.
Yeah, I was frustrated.
The D tackle was on ayahuasca.
You missed that Devontae throw too when he was wide open.
Devontae had a lot of targets in this game, and he's had a lot of targets all year. He finally got into the end zone. The Jets are 3-9. I don't think they've won one game since Saleh left.
That's awesome. Good for them. This is karma. This is, hey, you're a douche. You're going to get treated like a douche. And football gods got you.
Seattle stays in first in the
Devontae Adams.
Seattle stays in first in the NFC West. They improved to 7-5. With San Francisco losing and Arizona losing, it seems like they're kind of back in the driver's seat in that division. And 7-5. I mean, good for Seattle. I kind of called this before the year. This was my sleeper team that not a lot of people loved. I liked Mike Macdonald for Coach of the Year. I don't think he'll win that because I think Dan Campbell, Mike Tomlin, Kevin O'Connell have done really, really good jobs. And I think one of those guys will probably win.
It'll be Dan Campbell.
Yeah. I mean, if they win 14, 15 games, you can't.
Mike Tomlin should really win it for what he's doing.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin's
really
he's doing great, especially managing the two quarterbacks the way he has. And I think not a lot of guys given that situation would have gone to Russell Wilson after Justin Fields had early success, especially with that winning record. And I think it's a testament to him because Russell Wilson is clearly outplaying Justin Fields at this point.
Mike Tomlin's been coach of the year just taking the bullets.
I mean,
for
not
a 3-4 week period.
Yeah, you say not a lot of guys would have done that. Nobody would have had the balls to do that. First of all,
yeah.
Second of all, there was guys there was people in the organization that sources were coming out saying that didn't agree with the decision, and Tomlin came out and basically said, "All right, it's on me. This is my decision, so I'll wear it if it doesn't work out." Like he came out and just had the balls to say, "I'll wear it if it doesn't work out, and here's why I'm doing it." Basically, like let's see what we got. We know what we have in Fields now. Let's see what we got in Russell now, and then we'll make a decision going into the playoffs. So
what? Hey, look, I've been against Steelers all year, not because I don't like the Steelers. I respect the Steelers. I thought they were playing shadow games. What scares me now, and I'm coming around on the Steelers, is that Najee Harris is playing well now. He's starting to run with some purpose.
Yeah.
When you get those two guys going, that is a very with Warren. That's a dangerous combo. And then you got Russell who can still scramble.
Yeah.
And knows how to scramble appropriately. Slide, get out of bounds, get those like necessary 6 yards to make it 3rd and short as opposed to 3rd and 8. So that is a dangerous combo. So I'm coming around on the Steelers, and I hate to say it because it's in Ravens division.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is cementing his legacy this year. And really, I mean, look, it looked completely dead in Denver for the last couple of years, and really has rejuvenated. When he scrambles out of the pocket and he unloads on a deep ball, I don't know that I've ever had more confidence that somebody's going to come down with that ball. He just throws one of the prettiest deep balls I've ever seen, and he always has. He dropped so many balls in the bucket in this game. It was really fun to watch it. It was like watching Russell Wilson in his prime for a little bit of this game. Yeah, I mean, good for them. Seahawks, Jets, we just talked about. Let's move on to Washington and Tennessee. Washington basically killed Tennessee. They scored 20. They were up 28-0 at one point. They scored 21 in the first quarter. Scary Terry went off on a couple of my fantasy benches, which didn't end up costing me an L, but really frustrated because he's like the number 5 receiver in fantasy, and I decided that I was going to start other people over him, which was stupid. Brian Robinson housed a long run early in this game. Yeah, Pigtown, we're going strong today. We're doing our best, man. We are going strong. We got an hour and 20 in, and we just got a couple more games to get through, and then we're going to do our snake draft. By the way, snake draft, Christmas movies. Happy December, y'all. Yeah, what do we think about Washington? Do we think this was just a get-right game for them? Do we think Tennessee is just kind of terrible, and this game doesn't really matter? What do we think about this game?
Tennessee's terrible. This game doesn't matter.
I like Miracle Whip. I like Miracle Whip. I love mayo. I love all the mayonnaise.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't let that one go. We're a Hellman's family.
Houston.
It's Duke's mayo all day. I'm against the Hellman shit, man. And there's nothing against Hellman's.
No, I like Duke's too. Duke's
is good. Duke's is choice number 2 behind. Yeah. Or whatever McDonald's uses on their McChickens. That's
McDonald's on mayo.
Yeah.
I will bathe in that. I will actually do an entire podcast wearing that mayo, just the mayo.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but it's so good. I haven't had one in so long. Houston and Jacksonville. This game doesn't really matter either. I guess Houston gets back on the board with a win, even though they kind of struggled in this game. But we do have to talk about the hit Azeez Al-Shaair put on Trevor Lawrence. And this is my dad's shame for the week.
Good for you.
I was listening to a podcast, and people were like, "There's no place for this on a football field." And Bill Simmons was just like, "There's no place for this anywhere. Don't say there's no place for this on a football field. This is ridiculous." He came out and apologized, which I guess he had to do, but he looked like a complete ass clown. Everyone on the Jaguars roster was going at him, and deservedly so. This is one of the worst I can remember for a quarterback going for a slide and the player just completely torching him.
Brooks, can you? Joe, jeez. I can't. Jeez, Joe.
So
You might-
leave us alone.
You might be Dusty's new favorite person after that.
No, you're a fucking national treasure, Joe. I swear to God, you just completely caught me off guard. That's hard to do. Brooks, can you pull up this hit? Because I've only seen one replay of it. Was he already launching himself before the slide?
It looked really bad. It seemed like. I mean, I think
I'm not
that
trying
Lawrence
to
was.
any, I have no, I've
We'll
only
watch
seen
it and
replay,
we'll
so I want
discuss
to see it.
Yeah. While you're pulling it up, let's talk about the rest of the game. Mixon went over 100 yards. Nico Collins almost 120 yards receiving. Him and CJ Stroud have such a good connection. Yeah, he is vital to this offense being good. But Houston really still looking pretty bad, letting Jacksonville put up 14 on them in the fourth quarter with Mac Jones under center, who can't throw a football 10 yards. I mean, I don't know what happened to Mac Jones, but Matt Patricia ruined him. He looks terrible. Or he's looked terrible all year, and he looked even pretty decent against this Houston defense. I think Houston needs to get it together a little bit on defense. But here's the hit in question.
Anyone loves that screen, Brooks, by any chance?
Yeah, so Lawrence goes out of the pocket. He goes to slide and absolutely torched. And immediately Evan Engram is all over Azeez Al-Shaair. And, this was like 10 minutes of chaos on this field.
Can you replay it again, Brooks? You don't mind? I'm not trying to be a dick.
Let me see if they have a slow-mo coming up.
Yeah, I think they probably will. Yeah, here it goes.
There you go. All right, so sorry for you guys watching. Okay.
No.
Yeah, and he puts the forearm into him.
He puts the forearm, pushes it down into the ground. I mean, it's pretty bad. Look, he's already going at him. I see it's hard to stop your momentum, but at this point, now he's giving himself up. You got to go. And it's bang, and it's a football field, so it's tough. But, I mean, look.
I understand. Look, the game's fast, but he's going low.
Yeah.
And he sees that Lawrence is going low at the same time. Now, I know it's quick. I understand.
Yeah.
But then he throws forearm up to hit him in the neck. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Not a good look anyway for Azeez Al-Shaair. All indications are that he will be suspended. They don't know how long for. They haven't announced that yet. I'm sure they're discussing it amongst the NFL and the NFLPA and stuff like that. I wouldn't imagine he would appeal it because everyone's going to be against him in this situation. It sucks for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, the Jags, this is a season from hell for them, and this just puts the cap on it. 2-10. Their coach is probably going to be out of there, but you never want to see a guy like Trevor Lawrence or anyone really take any of these kind of hits. That was bad.
One positive about this hit, though, that we can take from it is that we didn't see in some other situations the last couple of years for other quarterbacks. His teammates backed him up right away, which says a lot about Trevor Lawrence as a leader in that locker room.
Yeah.
So that it just tells you a lot. When stuff like that, when your teammates don't come to your defense like that, then there's probably something going on in the locker room. So, but yeah, that's the positive that we can spin out of it.
I mean, he's going to be fined for the hit, but he needs to have another game taken away from him. That's second game. That's basically another fine. Another game check taken away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was ugly. That sucked.
That was very egregious. I mean, that's almost a James Harrison hit. That's Devontae's perfect hit on Antonio Brown. That's ridiculous. When you throw that, you're launching yourself. It's not part of the game.
Yeah. Anyway, Texans beat the Jags. They handle their business there. They don't cover, though, because they're not a great team, and great teams cover. New Orleans and the Rams. Didn't watch any of this game. Really, I just didn't watch a second of it, so I've got no analysis other than Taysom Hill's out for the year with a knee injury, and that's the only thing I know that happened in this game. Anybody else?
I think that man does not have ACLs left in his body. Because I think he tore his ACL at least twice at BYU.
He's been hurt a lot. Yeah. Sucks for him after having a complete blow up a couple weeks ago, fantasy-wise at least. But, yeah, that was not great.
Trash truck outside. No, I'll go on mute. If you can, I'll go on mute.
Nope, can't hear it. You're good. Yeah, nothing else on this game. The Rams improved to 6-6, but I don't think anybody's really afraid of them. Although I guess they're really technically only one game out of their division lead. Tampa takes care of Carolina. Carolina looks like a real football team again.
The Rams are a team I would not want to see in the NFC playoffs.
Just because of Stafford and
with Matt Stafford, Sean McVay, those two receivers, I wouldn't want to see that team.
Well, Kyron Williams
Yeah.
isn't a slouch either.
And
No,
then
he's been really good for them.
I mean, and you got the
And
running
Jared
back.
Verse on defense. Yeah. I see a little bit. Yeah. Tampa takes care of business in Carolina. But like I said, Carolina looks like a real football team, and they took them to overtime, and they played pretty well the last 3 or 4 weeks. Is we getting a little Bryce Young resurgence here? We feeling a little bit better about Bryce Young?
Well, yeah, he hit puberty during his time on the bench. It was awesome.
I mean, regardless, like for everybody who thought that he was dead, good for him for having the 3-4 weeks that he's had. Like he looks head and shoulders better. He's whether that's improvements that he's made or coaching staff, whatever. I mean, people thought we're going to write him off to be out of the league, so good for him. I'm happy for him. So it's all stems back to Tepper letting them do the free concert fundraiser. He's got good vibes going for the team right now.
Good karma.
Yeah. And then the Woody Johnson has just taken all the heat off of Tepper this year. So
without a doubt.
And the
Woody
Giants
Johnson could be the ambassador to like Mesopotamia under Donald Trump. And I'm not going political. So Woody Johnson get out of the way, let his son run it again, and then the Jets can get somebody decent.
Hopefully. If I'm a Jets fan, hopefully.
All right, let's move on. Next game, good for Tampa, by the way, improving to 6-6, and the Falcons look kind of dead, so they might end up taking that division down. Bucky Irving also 152 rushing yards in this game. Absolutely love that guy out of Oregon.
Stud. Great.
Stud.
He's a shower, not a grower. I love Bucky.
He's a stud. All right, the game you guys have all been waiting for, the worst game of the day. For me in particular, and probably the other two guys on this podcast. Philadelphia beats Baltimore 24-19. Baltimore gets off to a nice lead in the first quarter, but then Justin Tucker misses an extra point. And after that, the wheels kind of fell off for the Ravens offense. Didn't think Lamar played great in this game. Didn't think he played like terrible, but definitely wasn't a great Lamar game. I mean, I don't know. Where do you guys want to start with this? We've already talked a lot about Tucker, so where do you guys want to start with this one?
Brooks, I'm just gonna. I don't want to go too in depth, and I know we should. The Eagles deserve to win this game. It hurts to say that. They were the better team.
Yeah. The
Ravens. There's no blame to really be placed on a certain person. It's just they were the better team, and that's as simplistic as I can put it. You want to break down, the ins and outs and the A gap and 3 technique and all that bullshit. I don't care. The Eagles were better than us. Simplistic.
Yeah, I mean they made less mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fumbles seem to start being an issue, or starting to become an issue again. I thought we had gotten past this. And I was hoping that the couple that we had this year were just kind of outliers. But the last 3 fumbles, we've gotten them back. We fumbled in the last 3 games, I believe. Luckily, we've gotten them back, but it's an issue. It's starting to rear its head again, and I don't know why. And I mean, I gotta give Vic Fangio some credit here, man. He
their defense was
good. The guy's defense is playing really well. Really, really well. So, especially for a team that was for a league and all the talking heads that were saying that Sirianni needed to be fired. They've won their last 8 games now, I think. So,
yeah,
good for them.
Nick, you're right, man. I mean, Nick, you're 100% right with that statement.
Yeah.
Everything that Nick just said is absolutely
Lamar
very,
did miss
very, very
throws. Lamar definitely did miss some throws.
Yeah, there's a Zay Flower throw on 3rd and 5 when we were backed up in our end zone on, I think it was in the first or second quarter. That was just a terrible miss. He threw it not even close to him. Aguilar, he put the ball in the bucket for Aguilar on that sideline throw towards near the end zone, and Aguilar couldn't come up with it. That was another big turning point. I think if he catches that ball, the game's a little bit different. But yeah, I mean, look, I think and we'll talk about that Josh Allen game last night. I think Josh Allen won the MVP yesterday. I think he really did it last week, but he sealed it last night. And yeah, I mean, well-deserved win for the Eagles. They were the better team, like Brian said yesterday. Their defense showed up when it mattered. And yeah, it sucks losing all those points. I sent you guys a text before this game started. We've lost by 22 points in our 5 losses, only 22 points. And Justin Tucker has 22 points exactly of missed kicks in those 5 losses.
I want to give a shout out. I know it's part of the game, but not the actual game. All the Eagles fans that came to the tailgate yesterday, amazing. They were so much fun. Philly gets a terrible rap for, being shitty fans or aggressive fans. The people that I met yesterday were awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I actually heard that there was way too many Eagles fans at the game yesterday.
It might have been 50-50, man. It really might have been 50-50. Just looking at the tailgate and the people walking by the tailgate, might have been 50-50.
Not good. That's not good.
Yeah, that's not good.
Tickets are going for $400 upper deck, secondary market.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, that just tells you that Philly fans are passionate about coming down the 95 corridor. But I will say this. The Ravens are still a good football team. There needs to be a reset, but this is not the appropriate time to reset.
Good time for though.
In the same billing, the New York Giants, when they won their first Super Bowl with Eli Manning, were in basically the same position the Ravens were in. Now it's a different team, different players, different coach, but I have faith in this team. I have faith in the organization. I have faith in the coaching staff. We can still do this.
I do as well.
Let's go.
I do as well. The one thing I will say, this is the first game in a while that I can wholeheartedly say that our offensive line just got manhandled. I know their defensive line is incredible. Basically, all the varsity players from Georgia.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just manhandled Ronnie Stanley and pretty much every aspect of that line, to be honest with you, which is worrisome. And maybe it was just a bad game. We'll see. Go ahead,
rewatching some of the game this morning, just watching the highlights on YouTube, the 10, 15-minute video, whatever. There was a lot of opportunities for Lamar to run yesterday that he didn't take. Specifically on a couple of the sacks. There was one of the sacks before the second Tucker missed field goal, I think, the one that was 53 yards. He took like a 10, 15-yard sack there, and he saw that pressure coming for a long time. And Lamar, out of anybody in the league, Lamar can get out of that situation, especially if the pressure coming straight in his face. He has to have seen it. He gets out right or left. I mean, I think he's going to be able to run, especially with those 2 defenders already past him. It just seems like he wants to throw, and I do like that he's throw first now, but he is missing some opportunities to take off and run. And we saw it in the last drive of the game. I mean, he had like a 50-yard scramble, right?
Yeah. And kudos to him as well. In his press conference, basically said that they were asking about Justin Tucker. He literally gave the best answer a leader could give. He said, I put him in those situations. There's minus the field goals I'm talking about, not the extra point. He goes, I put Justin Tucker in those situations because I left some stuff on the field that I shouldn't have.
Yeah, so. And good for Lamar for taking responsibility for those, because he's right, because he did a couple of those sacks. You just can't take them, especially at your level. You've won 2 MVPs. You got to be better than that. But anyway, look, it's a tough loss. It's a good time for a bye week. It's a good time for a reset. And coming off of the bye week, I believe we play the New York Giants, which is as good of a reset game as you're going to get in the NFL this season. They have obviously not been.
It could be a huge letdown, one or the other.
Yeah, I mean that would be a complete disaster if we were to lose that game after a bye. But anyway, after that New York Giants game, we got to get ready and we got to play Pittsburgh at our house. And then that's when that's the middle part of the 10 games in 3 days, or 3 games in 10 days, or whatever we're going to go through.
Yeah,
which is
luckily
crazy.
we play really well after bye weeks historically. So
Yeah.
hopefully that continues. I gotta shout out Pigtown on some of these stats that he was putting out. I know I said some of them earlier. So since Jordan Stout took over holding duties, Tucker has missed 21 field goal, or no, sorry, 17 field goals and 4 extra points. That's
alarming.
That's a little unexcusable. Jordan Stout yesterday had 4 kicks for an average of 40 yards and a total net of 63 yards. That's abysmal.
Yeah.
That is absolutely, that cannot happen.
Go back to Penn State, you loser.
Trot out anybody else out there. They can kick the ball more than 40 yards. I guarantee it.
I'd rather just go for it.
Yeah, at that point, it's a turnover.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a turnover at that point.
Yeah, just give them the ball.
You're not even playing the field position game. Also, missed kicks are turnovers as well. So,
that's a lot of turnovers yesterday.
Yeah. And what was the other stat he brought up, which was interesting as well? The 83.8% field goal percentage since then, which is terrible. We all know that. I can't find it right now, but yeah, some of those interesting. And I know Brian also was talking about like what's it matter. I mean, it seems to be a linchpin. So, or it seems to be a denominator. But I don't know. We'll see. They're never going to throw him under the bus, nor should they, which is great. That stuff usually doesn't happen in the Ravens organization, but Pigtown found the stats, so I want to give him a shout out. And
watch Pigtown Sports. You guys watch Pigtown Sports.
Yeah, and especially if you're a baseball nerd like us, like we're baseball nerds, he's got really good stuff for baseball nerds specifically. Yeah. But obviously, he's got a lot of stuff he talks about. It's not just baseball.
Shout out to Antonio, to Joe Radke. You guys are freaking awesome. And everyone that watches, Taryn, go fuck yourself. So
all right, let's get into the last game here. San Francisco and Buffalo. Like I said earlier, I think this is the seal of the deal for the Josh Allen MVP thing. He just looked awesome in this game. The Amari Cooper lateral touchdown that he ran in was one of the coolest plays I've seen this year. I don't know if I've ever seen that. A guy lateral the ball back to his quarterback, and the quarterback goes into the end zone, especially going straight at the pylon. Allen had multiple different touchdowns. He had a throwing touchdown. I think technically that's a receiving touchdown. They count that as a receiving touchdown. And he had pass touchdown, 2 pass touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown in this game.
Dusty,
is that good?
The blinds all of a sudden,
what happened?
Like light came into your world.
It looks like Jesus is coming in.
I'll get this figured out.
Are you going to the light, or did you just die in front of us? Holy, stop that.
Nope. Still no bueno.
No. What the fist is? Did Dusty die?
Good possibility.
Dusty's gone. We lost him. It's a 2-man podcast now. Moving forward. What?
Gotta block that sun. Gotta block that sun.
Are you the Black Angel of Death?
Anyway, also to add on to what he said, that's a shame for this week since I have not gotten to it yet. There we go. Just need to get the focus back on. Maybe that's with our next donation to the podcast, that's going towards a new camera for Dustin.
That or a fucking blind.
So there's a crack in between the 2 lines, and there's a streak of light coming, and I guess the sun moved, so it went right onto where my camera was.
The sun moved?
Yeah.
Thanks.
The sun moves constantly.
Believe it or not.
Don't you know that?
The Earth's rotating. We're flying by the seat of our pants.
But But that's a shame this week is CMC probably tearing full on pop of the Achilles yesterday.
No, it's PCL. PCL.
Oh, did they announce it today? I haven't been on
Shanahan said it's probably season ending and it's a PCL. So going out there with no legs.
Interesting.
I have no legs. No legs.
I mean, he fought. It seemed like he fought to get back this year, and then this happens. So,
is this biggest fantasy football disaster ever?
Yes.
So I gotta be up there. Gotta be up there.
Number one pick played 3 games and was never good in any of them. Didn't score any touchdowns.
This puts the nail in the coffin for San Francisco's playoff chances this year, unfortunately. But
I don't know, man. Jordan Mason's kind of a stud.
The biggest fantasy football blunder of all time, and it was early fantasy, was Michael Vick going down in the preseason. By Adalius Thomas pulling him down from behind in the preseason game.
Well, all your drafts should be after the preseason ends. That's why that's what you get for drafting that early. But anyway, James Cook goes over 100 yards in this game. It was fun to watch a snow game. I love snow games, especially in Buffalo.
Does Kyle Shanahan have a job at the end of the season? That's a serious statement.
100%. He's gone to 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years.
100%. He's not getting fired. You're out of your mind.
Can't fire that guy. It's a season from hell. Everyone got hurt. You got hurt. McCaffrey hasn't played all year. Their defense has been banged up. It's just not been a good year for them. Purdy missed a game already. Debo's been in and out. He had pneumonia. Kittle's missed a game.
Do you pay Brock Purdy?
Trent Williams is out.
Yeah.
Do you pay Purdy? You don't have to yet. So they don't have to worry about it.
He's up. $50
No,
million.
he's
No, he's not. Not this year. He's not.
He's got
2 more years.
Franchise here.
No, he's got 2 more years.
No way.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Anyway, boys, I'm going mobile. So you guys keep talking.
No. We're going to do the draft. You going mobile though?
Yeah, I'm going mobile. So you guys can lead into it here in a second, but I got to go mobile to get on the road to a meeting. But I'll be on my phone though. So
okay. And also, cool. Let's do the draft. Let's get the draft out of the way while Brooks goes mobile. We'll let Brooks get back on. I put my Christmas sweater on with deers having sex.
Oh, I have a Christmas shirt I can put on. Let me do. Brooks is doing
a Santa Claus outfit in the middle of the summer.
I have a Santa outfit, but it's under my bed and it's going to be a lot. I have a sweet shirt though. I'm going to put on.
I don't want to see what's under your bed, buddy.
Carry the team here for a second, Bri.
Yeah, no problem. So let me tell you about me. So hi guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome to the Brian Rogers Show. But I do want to thank again, Brooks and Dustin are phenomenal people. Amanda coming on and talking about mental health. It was absolutely stunning. Just appreciate all you guys so much. Natch, I am so jealous.
Yeah, this is one of my prized possessions. This is my SantaCon bartending outfit, and it's awesome. It goes really well with Santa pants.
Jesus.
The Brian Rogers Show would be electric. No, it wouldn't. It would be terrible, Joe.
It would be absolutely awful. I can't get over how much I appreciate the ability to do this podcast on a regular basis. I mean, it's something I was so hesitant to do, and then now that we got started, like it's one of the biggest passions I have. It's so much fun because it helps out. So it helps me out. It helps you guys out, and I get to meet so many different people. And the fact that we get to also, enlighten and also bring in other people to, advertise whatever the hell that it might be, give it mental health or a small business. It means so much. So this is just so much fun. And when we started talking about this, I remember saying to Brooks, that's a fucking terrible idea. It's the best idea. It has been awesome.
It has been awesome, and I echo what you said. And guys, thank you for turning out and watching. I know we had a lot of Pigtowns viewers on our Thanksgiving episode. He gave us a big bump. Thank you, Pigtown, for that. And thanks for being a loyal listener and being awesome.
The friends we made through this podcast have been amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know who the hell Joe Radke was in Arkansas.
Yeah.
I mean, and Joe's the man. Like, Joe, you want to come up here and sleep in my house? Come on up, baby. Hey, I got plenty of beer.
If I had a second, that's a shame. It would be my draft for last week, which I don't even want to make a graphic for because it was so freaking bad. Anyway, last week we did Thanksgiving foods, and I just looked at my list again, and it was so bad.
Is Karen commenting right now? Because apparently she is the absolute ass hammer of my life right now.
She said you rang earlier.
Oh,
Barletta says who handled the sun better, CeeDee Lamb or Dustin? Probably me because I got it fixed. CD didn't fix his dropping issues this week. He's still losing balls in the sun, even though they're not even playing. Thundercunt, that's such a good one there. Yeah, she's #blessed. That invite may be taken up in March, Brian. Says Joe.
Joe, you come up here, buddy. I got you.
Brian, this is Zippy.
Hey,
I try to.
My man, Zippy.
Shout out to Zippy. Shout out to everyone who's watching. Brooks is in a mobile unit right now, and he's going to be doing his Christmas movie draft. By the way, I haven't gotten graphics. We haven't gotten graphics out the last couple of weeks. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Zippy is one of the few human beings who still enjoys listening to the Oriole games, not watching the Oriole games. And I respect the shit out of that.
Yeah. That reminds me of just being in the pool house eating crabs, screen house.
Hell yeah, baby. Yeah. Crack crabs, listen to the ball game. Whoever. I miss Rex Barney. Damn it. We need a Rex Barney shirt. Why is that not a shirt?
So we're going to get into our Christmas movie snake draft here. I've been lacking on the visuals. I've made one for the one 2 weeks ago. I will make them. I will do everything today. I'll just get it over with and get it all done today. I'll make a graphic for our picks as well. Or maybe Brooks can do that because he already has it, or he can send it to me or something.
Whatever you say, son God.
But yeah, Amin Ra, that's me. Anyway, so we don't have results because we haven't gotten whatever. So last week I let Brian pick our draft order. Brooks, I'm going to let you pick this time.
I mean, I'm going to go first, and Brian can go second if you're going to give me the draft order.
That's fine. All right. What do you want first?
My favorite of all time, which is a close 1-2 for me, but I'm not going to give away my second pick if it gets to me. My number one is Jim Carrey's Grinch.
God fucking damn it. Sorry for the profanity there. That's my favorite by a mile. Yeah.
Bro, turn your camera on.
Jim Carrey's Grinch. He's driving. Just let him do his thing. Jim Carrey's Grinch. That would be my pick as well. I could quote the whole movie. Brian.
Right. This is so simplistic to me. It's Christmas Vacation. Give me Chevy Chase all day.
Okay.
Clark Griswold. I mean, come on, there's so many quotes.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's going to be a lot of people who get angry at me here, probably because I'm not going to take Christmas Story. But I'm going to take the next two best options for me, which have to be Elf and Home Alone.
Damn it!
I'm going to take Elf. I'm taking Home Alone. I think that's a pretty heavy wraparound there. That's like hitting Saquon and Derrick Henry on the wraparound.
That's a sledgehammer to the face.
Yeah. Brian, what is your number two?
I'm going. I almost did it. I can't. I'm going to go Christmas Story.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a great answer, and I think you're going to have a lot of the votes here because of those two movies you picked to start Christmas Vacation and A Christmas Story. Brooks, you get back to back here. You've got Jim Carrey's Grinch. What are your next two?
I'm trying to pull my list up that I made.
Don't wreck the car, please.
Like my next.
Well,
I'm trying not to. Hold on. Trying not to. Luckily.
Mark Forrest says Bad Santa. Mark Forrest, I love you. No.
Die Hard by a mile. Yeah, Die Hard's on my list, Joe. Don't be giving them away.
Don't be giving away, Joe. That was my third pick, dude.
I gotta go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I gotta go with the Santa Claus.
Nice call.
Tim Allen, Santa Claus.
I don't know which one.
Just go with number one.
I like all of them, to be honest with you, but just give me number one.
Okay, that's a good answer. I like those movies a lot. And your number 2? Or what are your second one?
Well, shit. Hold on. Give me Jingle All the Way.
Wow.
Get
All right.
the fuck out of here, Turbo
Jingle.
Man.
Jingle all the way.
This is what happens when I leave my list that I made at home.
That's your fault.
All right. Brian,
You're right.
Brian, you gonna take it?
All right, Joe, you fuckstick. I'm taking Die Hard. All
Die
right.
Hard's a great answer, and you had to take it. It is a Christmas movie. It is set on Christmas. I don't want to hear any arguments here. I'm taking Home Alone 2. I don't care that I already have Home Alone 1. I love Home Alone 2 almost as much as the first one, so I'm going with it.
You're such a cake eater. You are a cake eater. What? To the bird lady?
Oh, dude, that one's so good when he's in New York. He sees Donald Trump. Yeah, I'm taking that. And then I'm going to go with a controversial one here. I'm taking Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. That movie is mostly set in Christmas, and every Christmas I watch Harry Potter movies all the time. So I'm taking it, and if you guys want to fight me, go ahead.
I'll tell you what, you guys are taking some creative liberties on these Christmas movies right now. You're lucky I'm driving, or else I'd put up more of a fight on this.
I think Dusty needs to go on podcast probation. That's PP squared.
I don't care.
What the fuck? Harry Potter? And I'm a Harry Potter fan.
I don't care. Harry Potter, I associate Harry Potter with the holidays. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, you probably do too. I'm taking it. I don't care. And if you guys don't like it, then whatever. Just don't vote for me. That's fine. I'm not here to please people. I'm here to give you my favorite list. Brian, what do you got here?
I might take Striptease. Yeah, it's a great Christmas movie. No, I'm kidding.
You can take Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
I'm gonna go with The Night Before.
Okay.
The Night Before? What is that?
Yeah, it's newer. It's like Seth Rogen.
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it funny?
It's hysterical. They're like
Okay.
doing drugs and drinking, and it's a weird, but it's all Christmas based. They're going to Christmas parties and stuff like that. The Night Before.
All right. Brooks?
My last pick. If anyone takes my last pick, I'm going to get naked. Okay, so just don't take it.
Brooks gets 2 picks here to finish out his draft. He's got Jim Carrey's Grinch, the Santa Claus, and Jingle on the way so far.
Give me the Polar Express.
That's
Nice.
a great answer. That movie's
Great
awesome.
call, buddy. Great call.
And also give me Fred Claus.
Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn. No way. I love that movie. We saw that movie in theaters, I think.
Yeah, I think we did.
I thought we were friends, guys. I really thought we were friends. This is terrible. You got
Brian.
Turbo Man and Fred
Well,
Claus.
we're really trying to bring out. We're really doing our best Brian draft impression right now.
What, just being bad at it?
Just being bad at it. Yeah.
That's what I did last week. Brian, what's your last? You got one.
All right. I'm going to go with my second favorite movie of all time, Love Actually.
God damn it, dude. That was my number 5. I love that movie. That movie is excellent.
I'm done.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. That movie's excellent. I guess that makes my life a little easier here because I was kind of between two. Give me The Nightmare Before Christmas. Jack Skellington and crew. I watched that movie a ton when I was a kid. That movie, both a Halloween and a Christmas movie. But yeah, great versatility on my holiday movies. That's what I like about them. But
The
yeah,
call-in line is live.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
baby.
I've got some.
Dusty, you'll have to work the line though.
That's fine. I got some honorable mentions. But you got Brian. You want to go first?
Man, be careful.
Brian, honorable mentions. You got any?
Yeah, I got The Holiday. I have Scrooge, Miracle on 34th Street, Violent Night, which is it's like a spoof Christmas movie, but it's hysterical. It's
Yeah.
Santa Claus literally with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And then what was it? It's a Wonderful Life. Those are mine.
Yeah. I've got Jack.
I have,
Jack go ahead, Brooks.
I got Jack Frost, so I'm gonna steal
Yeah.
that from you.
That movie's so
I got
sad.
Charlie Brown Christmas,
Charlie Brown Christmas is great.
Deck the Halls, Bad Santa, which I'm surprised nobody took.
No, that's right up our alley.
Christmas with the Cranks, anybody?
Christmas with the
Yeah.
Cranks. Thank you, Tim Allen.
That's not Tim Allen, is it?
Four Christmases is actually not bad.
Mhm.
I've got on my. I had Jack Frost. You took that. The Muppets Christmas Carol. Loved that movie when I was a kid. The Frosty the Snowman, the original. Me and my brother and my mom probably watched that 1,000 times growing up. And the original Rudolph, the claymation Rudolph, and also Year Without a Santa Claus, the one with the Heat Miser and the Snow Miser.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Heat Miser. Love that one
Great
too.
call.
Yeah, Scrooge with Bill Murray. That's a good one. That I completely
That's a
forgot
great
about.
one.
Scrooge.
I totally forgot him. Yeah,
The Scrooge.
yeah,
whatever.
Scrooged. Yeah, we've got some call-ins, or we have a call-in.
Hey,
What's up, Joe?
Joe?
How you doing, brother?
Hello, fellas.
How you doing today?
What'd we miss, Joe?
Back to work Monday. What'd you miss? White Christmas?
I like the song. I don't know the movie.
Would that be in your top 5 though?
I don't know.
What goes in your kitchen, Joe?
My mom loves those old movies. Probably so. And I don't particularly like this movie anymore, but It's a Wonderful Life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was my grandfather's favorite movie of all time, and he was a huge Christmas.
Joe,
I think that was everybody's grandparents' favorite movie.
Joe, what would have been your number one pick?
Yeah.
Probably Bad Santa.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of pissed that nobody. I probably should have taken Bad Santa over Fred Claus, but
No, you should have.
If
No,
I
that's
was
not
thinking-
maybe.
It's our-
You should have.
it's already locked in. So
because Billy Bob Thornton. is-
So I
Right.
watched Billy Bob Thornton give an interview where they said like he was literally drinking real bourbon when he passed out on the escalator going up in the movie, and that was just like something they were rolling, and they kept it in the movie. It was not scripted whatsoever.
I
He
believe
was
it.
legit passed out.
that's awesome.
I believe it. Have you guys seen the new TV series he's in, Landman?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it's amazing.
It's a good series.
Shit. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah.
Joe, it looks pretty sunny there in Arkansas. Is it nice there or is it cold?
It warmed up to about 55.
Oh, shit. Look at you. It's like 40 degrees in Ocean City right now.
Yo,
Cold
Joe, how was the
shit.
vacation, man?
It was good, man. Didn't do anything. Stayed at the house. Ate a bunch of food on Thursday
Hell yeah.
at 9 o'clock, like I said.
AM or PM?
No PM.
Hey,
Yeah.
And Joe, I want to say something real quick for all of us, from myself, Dusty, and Brooks. Thank you very much for the nice tweet. I think it was a tweet, Brooks.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You gave a shout out to us, the Ryan Ripken Show. Everyone watch the Ryan Ripken Show. They're great
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And Zach, Zach and
Evan.
Kevin React.
Yeah.
Kevin and Zach React. But Joe, thank you very much. I mean it. Like that was awesome. The way you worded everything was very nice, and we appreciate you so much.
Speaking of, we need to have a conversation with Zach because as Don's really pulled a fast one on Dustin and I's.
Oh, yeah.
Cardinals.
The old
I-
Turkey
we had a
Bowl,
chance-
17-14.
We had a chance to win it at the end.
I was surprised that Channel 2 actually streamed it on Facebook, so I watched a few
Yeah.
minutes of it.
Yeah, it was. If you go on like ABC2, whatever the local website is, you can get it. That's how we usually watch it down here in Ocean City because we don't get it locally down here either. and then we just stream it to the TV. But it's
Joe,
it's
Joe,
always
you
fun
gotta
to
tell
watch.
them
I
about
watch
the
it
Salt
every
Bowl. You gotta tell them about the Salt Bowl.
Okay, so Arkansas has the Salt Bowl. We don't have the Turkey Bowl. The Salt Bowl is between Benton and Bryant, and they are two very rival cities. They literally hate each other. They're next door to one another. And it started in 1974. And the rivalry started because one school, I think it was Benton, took Bryant went to Benton and painted the mascot pink. Painted the Panther pink, and then Benton went back and dropped pink marshmallows all over the football field. So they each other ever since. And they play the game at War Memorial Stadium, which holds 65,000, and on average the game gets around 38,000 fans.
Wow.
There's about 20 to 30 vendors. They tailgate for 12 hours. It's insane.
Do they have to sit on other sides of the field because they're going to fight?
Yeah, it's
Do they-
it's divided. You run into somebody that's from Benton and you go to Bryant and you're wearing maroon Panthers. They don't like that. And
It sounds like they should call it the Marshmallow Bowl or something. Why do they call it the Salt Bowl?
Apparently they don't like pink either.
Benton and Bryant are in Saline County, so it's called the Salt Bowl because of the county name.
Oh, okay. So like
Makes
salinity. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and
Fair.
the thing is, they're baseball schools. They're not even really football schools.
Oh, really? Yeah, but Colorado high school football down there is crazy, right?
Yeah, Bryant is a huge baseball school.
Yeah,
They're
it's a big one.
Yeah.
There's a few that are still in minors, but I think a lot of them fizzle out. But I know the Razorback pitcher that the Orioles had in the minors for a while went to Bryant High School. Can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, I can't think of that guy's name either. I know who you're talking about too.
He got cut. Oh, Blaine Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got cut.
Yeah, I remember when we got him at Arkansas.
But yeah, I coached fall ball down there when my son was 12.
Can you say that again? What'd you coach?
Fall ball. When my
Ball
son,
ball. Oh, ball ball. I want your accent so bad. I want your accent so bad.
Well, that's funny. You know what's funny about that? When I met my current wife,
Her wife.
Yeah.
You plan on going with a second or third?
she thought I was a little she thought I had a little bit of a speaking problem because I only been in California for probably a year and a half. So I had a thick Baltimore accent. So she thought I was quite retarded. I should have said the wrong word.
You are one of the
Oh, man.
It's one of the sexiest things I've heard in a long time, man. Dude, well done. Well done.
All right, Joe. Well, thanks for listening. We're gonna bring in Antonio, so we're gonna knock you off here. But thanks for hanging out and telling stories, and thanks for listening and watching all the time, man.
Joe, you're the man, dude. Thank
Sorry,
you,
I
Joe.
missed the health segment. Sorry I missed that.
Oh, that's all right, man. It'll be up on YouTube right after this ends, so you can go back and watch it if you want to.
Yeah, the mental health thing's a good one, Joe. I mean, please
Yeah.
watch it. Amanda was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Definitely watch it, buddy. Please.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do for sure.
All right, Joe. Thanks, man.
All right, later, guys.
All
See you
right.
Antonio!
Hi,
Hey, bud.
How are you?
good. My two favorite Christmas movies are Disney Christmas Carol and The Polar Express.
There you
I like the
go.
Polar Express a lot too. That's a really good one.
My parents
Antonio.
I'm getting Antonio's vote this week.
Yeah. Antonio, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. My parents said to tell you hi.
Oh,
What's
thank
up,
you,
guys? How
Desiree.
you doing?
Thank you.
All right, I'll see you guys.
All right. Thanks for stopping in, Antonio. You're the man.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Antonio.
All right. Antonio is always welcome on the pod. He's always the man. Guys, thanks for calling in and thanks for hanging out with us. We're over 2 hours now. Brooks is on the road, so we're going to get him off of here and we're going to finish this up. I will be doing all the graphic stuff today, so look out for that stuff on Instagram this week. That being for our snake drafts and for our picks and everything like that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning into another episode. Drink some natural lights. Have yourself a Monday, guys.
Have a good Monday. Brooks, Dusty, thank you so much. Antonio, Joe, Pigtown, everyone that freaking looks at this thing. Thank you guys so much. I say it every week. Favorite part about this podcast is hang out with my friends. It helps me out. If you have a problem, talk to somebody, call us, text us, whatever the heck it may be. We had lovely Amanda on earlier today with Nami. We have it going across the ticker here. Take care of yourself. You take care of yourself, you treat a person, you're always going to win.
Yeah, I got nothing else to add. You hit the nail on the head. Thanks again. Brooks, you got anything to finish us out here?
Nope, that's it. Love you, boys.
All right, that's going to be it. Thanks, guys. Love y'all.
See you, boys.
See y'all.